The 42-minute delay. He was 32 years old. He was just a regular guy who traveled for work, making his living as a software account manager for Oracle, living a quiet, suburban life in Cranberry, New Jersey. To anyone who knew him, he was simply a good man. He was a Sunday school teacher. He was a former college ball player at Wheaton. He was a devout father with 2 little boys at home and a 3rd child on the way. Welcome to the landing point. Once you know who they are, put their name and time that you figured out in the comments. He had just flown home from a company trip to Italy on Monday, and he had a business meeting scheduled in San Francisco for Tuesday. He easily could have flown out Monday night and gone straight to the West Coast, but he wanted to sleep in his own bed. He wanted to spend one precious evening with his pregnant wife, so he opted for a morning flight instead. Tuesday dawned clear and crisp. He kissed his wife goodbye, drove to Newark, and boarded a Boeing 757 carrying only 33 passengers and 7 crew members, a plane barely a quarter full. But then came a mundane frustration, the kind every business traveler knows. The flight was scheduled to leave at 8 o'clock in the morning. Stuck in the departure jam, it did not lift off until 8:42. That 42-minute delay would change the course of history. Roughly 46 minutes into the flight, high over Ohio, 4 men stood up and tied on red bandanas around their heads. They violently stormed the cockpit and herded passengers to the back of the plane. Our software salesman suddenly found himself trapped in a nightmare that defied all reason. He picked up a seatback airphone and tried to reach his wife, but the call would not connect. Instead, he was routed to customer service supervisor named Lisa Jefferson, sitting in the call center in Oak Brook, Illinois. For the next 13 minutes, he stayed on the line with her, calmly and methodically explaining exactly what was happening. And when she offered to patch him through to his wife, he said no. She was pregnant and he did not want to terrify her. It was with Lisa that he learned the horrifying truth about the outside world. He learned about the World Trade Centers. He learned about the Pentagon. He realized, along with the other passengers huddled in the back of that cabin, that this wasn't a traditional hijacking. There would be no demands. There would be no negotiations. Their plane was a guided missile. It had already turned around and it was rocketing straight towards Washington, D.C. Faced with the unimaginable terror, the passengers did something extraordinary. Right there in the air, they took a vote. They decided to fight back. Our young father told the operator their plan. He asked her to promise that if he didn't make it, she would call his wife and tell her that he loved her and his boys. Then, over the static of the telephone line, the operator heard him pray. He recited the Lord's Prayer. He recited the 23rd Psalm, the valley of the shadow of death, and fear no evil. When the prayer was finished, he didn't hang up the phone. He left the line open. The operator listened, holding her breath, as he turned to the other passengers. She heard him utter a simple, colloquial phrase, a phrase he used all the time with his little boys when it was time to leave the house. And then the passengers charged down the narrow aisle, fighting a desperate hand-to-hand battle for control of the plane. At 10:03 in the morning, the plane rolled over and went into an empty field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. It was roughly 20 minutes flying time to the United States Capitol. The date was September 11, 2001. The flight was United Airlines 93. And the battle cry that echoes across a grieving nation was, "Let's roll." And that 32-year-old software salesman was Todd Beamer. And this is The Landing Point. Viewers, thank you for watching today, The Landing Point. We really appreciate it. I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Roadrunner Real Estate. They are a full-service real estate company doing both commercial and residential real estate. They can help you buy, sell, or even lease your properties. So if you're in the market looking for a real estate company, please go out and give them a call. They'll happily help you today. The next thing I'd like to talk about is our social media. Obviously, we have YouTube if you're watching that today. If you haven't done so already, please go out and subscribe. It is completely free to you. There's nothing that you'll be charged or your membership fees, but it does help us out so we can get our latest episodes to you quickly, and you can find out what's going on with YouTube. Our other place that we do a lot of our social media is on our Facebook page, The Landing Point. So please go out and like and subscribe or follow those, I guess I would say, so you get the latest updates. If you're a person that likes to listen to stories as you're out on the drive, we have our podcast. You can find The Landing Point out there, and it can be on most services. So once again, thank you for watching The Landing Point, and we look forward to see you on our next story.